usual, we are gathering. We're just gonna share out the links with our friends in different group chats. So it gives a few here. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Here we got. All right. Stay with us. Okay. I think that's it for me today. Actually, hold on. Okay. I think I'm good to go if you guys are.
Yeah, I'm just sharing in our Myosin chat.
All right. Beautiful. We'll get going. Maky, how you doing? Are you recovered
Doing
from
well.
Breakpoint?
Yeah, I'm a bit sick, but I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, the
Well,
post
we were
breakpoint
having some
was,
fun on the. Yeah. It was a fun one. It was a fun
yeah,
one.
it was, it was. But
Was it
Hopefully not
better than
Sunday.
so
We gotta.
DevConnect?
Ooh.
I
I
only
mean,
go
honestly,
on soul events, so for
I go to
me,
them all.
yeah, I mean that's a perk, right, of doing this.
Yeah. You gotta enjoy it. Vibes were high. I will say DevConnect did not have multiple drone shows. It did not have free. It did not have Solflare airdrops. It did not have robot fighting. Uh, there's many things. It did not have Monkey Down in the Dunes. So it was a good time. I
Oth-
love. I still got my .eth, but I also love Soul. What can I say? We live in a multi-chain world, Habibi. Let's go.
Other conferences are more oriented towards the B2B side, I would say, rather than the community vibes. And then when you kind of
Yeah.
go towards soul conferences and you see there's like the first of the aspect of the community around and hanging around with the people that you haven't seen for quite some time, and then there is
Yeah.
that business environment, it kind of hits a bit differently. Both have perks, right? So it depends on what you prefer.
I did see a tweet
Pros and
from
cons.
someone that was saying exactly that all ETH centered conferences are more like work first, business first, whereas Soul is like vibes first and then business second. So we're kind of like
Mm,
all here winning together and not just trying to like, you know,
True.
do business with each other. So interesting. But yeah, I think it kind of in every aspect of it, like with events and even with content, both of them are different in that regard.
It depends
In my
just on
opinion.
what you prefer, right? And where you want to build your next big thing.
Yeah.
exactly. But let's get into it, folks. I think there's a lot to get through. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Chain Reactions. It's your weekly live stream and podcast where we talk to founders, heads of marketing, and just all around great people from around the crypto sphere. Today we have Maky from Solflare, straight out of Breakpoint. How you doing, my friend?
As I said, doing well, kind of recovering a bit. It was a long week.
Yeah.
Got like sick immediately when I was coming back home, and a lot of the people that were also
Mm.
there told me that. Um, so even have a busted lip, which I have no idea on how. So kind of quite interesting. Nothing happened at Breakpoint on the lip, by the way. Just so we're clear
It's
on
like,
that one.
okay, man. I don't
No, no,
know what
no.
you been.
It's cool on that one. I just don't. I have no idea on how anymore. But overall,
Mm,
doing well now, getting back on track, and hoping to close this year the way it should be closed and prep for the next one.
yeah. Let's close the year strong. But before we do, let's have a great chat and let's talk all things Solflare. Let's recap a little bit what you did at Breakpoint and beyond. But kick things off, what we always love to do is learn a bit more about the guest, right? And so we'd love to kind of hear more about your story pre-crypto, right? So what were you doing before all this? How'd you find your way into crypto and how'd you find your way to what you're doing now at Solflare?
Oh, that's a long story, but I'll give you a summary of it that captures the most interesting points, I would say, of it. So first off, I studied management and psychology, and that's kind of how those were the two interests that I always had, and I always kind of
Wait, did you say
preferred.
business management psychology? Me too. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So I
It's a
mean, that's a
great
cool
pairing.
combination, right?
Hmm.
And somehow I was always previously I was always a gamer, and I was like this trading and online work and things like that. And somehow I always thought that I'm gonna end up in banking, like my father he's a traditional banker, and that's kind of how I went with this financial world and freedom. But in a way I always hated the banks as well, so it was kind of a tough fight for me. And over time just kind of started working as the usual teenager goes through waitering and stuff like that, and then data analysis, tech shops, and nothing actually was that interesting for me, and nothing could actually capture the attention of me where I can say I want to develop my career in this and move down this path, because I lose interest quite a lot. And it's quite easy to do it. And I probably have an kind of ADHD a bit of an issue on that one. Never diagnosed, maybe self. But over the years, all of these different interests turned out more towards the technology aspect of things. And when I was working in these companies, either as a data analyst or as a marketeer later on, I always used the tools that were a bit uncommon for everyone, and I would merge them and combine them and kind of twist them on my own. And then it turned out to be video editing, content creation, podcast, gaming, streaming, trading, and tons of different smaller things and interests, right? And that's quite hard to explain to someone in the regular Web2 world, right? Somehow ended up in Reddit, went down that rabbit hole, became one of the moderators there in the early stages of community and build up in that area pre GME AMC type of era, and realized, okay, this is cool. Communities out here are cool. I do know how to manage these communities online. I have a lot of skills that I can offer in these communities. And one thing led to another. Got my first Web3 gig, which was like 5 years ago. The basics started from the basis role of moderating, then community management, social media management. Turned after a few years into a CMO role, and eventually, for the past 2 years, led me towards Solflare, where I am now the head of community, or as we call it, community architect, meaning that all of these crazy ideas I have, I need to plan out, right, and ship them with the team. Um, and now I'm here. I'm building something quite interesting. I do something that I love. I vibe with the community, and hopefully I can ship these all cool things together with the community as well. And that's kind of all in short, all over the place. But luckily, found my silver star in the crypto world and with Solflare.
That's the best case, man. I love that because I think it's we've seen this story happen so many times, right? And this is something I love about crypto is you can really just start. I mean, I don't want to say the bottom, but you can just start from anywhere, right? And you can just work your way up,
Yep.
and just it is very meritocratic. Not a perfect industry, but that's one really beautiful part about it. So I love that.
I
It
think the
appreciates the
hardest part,
grind.
yeah, and the hardest part I think is to find the team that you align with and that you feel passionate building with, because that is tough. You can be really
Oh yeah.
good, but finding the right team is a challenge. And it seems like you found your place, which is yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
100%. I can totally get that, and I agree with that statement. You more than you think of.
I
I've worked on
mean,
multiple projects, but this
yeah.
is now, yeah, the one I want to do more with.
Yeah, I think as a moderator and community manager, you know like the ins and outs of like what people are saying versus what the teams are doing and saying, being the insider. So you know how it is. And on that note, to kind of give everyone the TLDR of what Soulflare is, I know we know, but you know a lot of people who might be listening this and recording as well don't really know what it is. So if you can describe it in like 60 seconds or less.
Okay, first off, Solflare is a self custody wallet on Solana. A lot of people don't know this, but the first wallet on Solana, right from the get-go, when Solana launched on the mainnet, Solflare was there with its wallet. We are focused solely on Solana, and now slowly but steadily leaving our mark in this space. What we always like to say that we truly believe in Solana, in this community, in this ecosystem. So the entire focus of the entire team remains to build cool things solely on Solana for Solana, since we see it as the future of the financial world. And yeah, most importantly, self custody wallet, meaning that you own your funds, nobody else can control them, nobody else has access to them, nobody else can take them, ban them, log them, or whatever they think that they can do. And we help our users in managing of those funds through a long list now of features. Most recently, at Breakpoint, we launched the self custody card, which is a hardware wallet. Apologies, hardware wallet that stores your funds. Completely new technology, more encryption than anything out there. Extremely easy to use. Hopefully, a lot of people at Breakpoint will start testing it out and spreading the good vibes. We also launched Magic, which is AI, our AI tool for managing your portfolio. Yeah, exactly. I do have one as well on my end. We call it Shield, right? It looks like a debit card, extremely cool. No need for battery, no need for cables or anything. Works with an NFC on your wallet. Does only work on Solflare, since it's a native towards Solflare wallet and on Solana at this moment. So, and yeah, then we also launched Magic, which is an AI tool, as I mentioned, which will help, I would say, everyone in figuring out their trades and implementing these extremely elaborate orders. Vidor actually said it quite well on the stage, our founder, one of our co founders, that in simple terms, in words, the action is extremely simple to do. But when you try to do it in DeFi world or in a crypto wallet, it becomes an extremely complex action. So we kind of merge the both self custody wallet with AI, where it can now understand everything you want to do and do the actions that you wish it to do. What else? We have cards. You can spend your crypto, so that's also cool. Stocks. And a good amount of more things that I will not go into it,
I
but
saw something
definitely.
about magic this morning. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that there's some magic coming up. Yeah,
yeah. That's
exactly.
that's the AI right now. It's in alpha testing.
Yeah.
I'll get you some codes so you can test it out and take a look. It's still
Yes.
invite only.
Yeah.
So we see how people vibe with it and what's the feedback from it. But eventually, quite soon, it will become available for everyone in the space.
Awesome. Nice. I wanted to kind of zoom out a little bit and talk more about what does being a community architect entail, and then maybe get into more about what you guys were doing at Breakpoint, and how does whatever you're doing, how does it come to life. So if you were to, describe like what it is that you do, why everyone needs a community architect, please tell everyone how to build a real community, because Solflare does seem to do a great job at it. Like I see, people on Twitter talking about Solflare. The yellow is, I mean, Rarible is the yellow color as well, but it's also Solflare. It's
Actually,
very
real
like,
quick, time out community. I'm in the X like stream, and I just want to give a shout to you got some loyal Soulflare followers: Witty Cruz, Holly Boy, Telecom,
G4G,
Ginsu,
or how is
Emmy
it? Yeah.
G4G, yeah.
Yeah, G for
All of
G.
them.
Everyone
G for
comments
G.
G4G.
G4G, everyone in the comment
Let's
section.
go.
Yeah, as soon as they see me somewhere, they jump in. Our community really supports each other.
That's
That's
nice.
the G4G mantra, actually, Guardian for Guardian. And that's the short thing about the community. It's people supporting people, and that's
Mm.
everything you need in the community aspect. On what my role is or how to define it, honestly, I don't know. Like that's the truth. I don't know. This role was invented for me by the team. some time ago, because I said community managers. Yeah, everyone says they're community managers. I don't actually do that. Neither my experience is made for such a role. We need to think of something else that we can call this role for, because it's not community management in any way or form. Everyone
Right.
says, "Oh, we love community. We want to build community. Community is the best." And then you rug your community, or you scam your community. You don't acknowledge your community. You don't appreciate the feedback from the community. Then truly, you're not doing anything for the community. You're just farming it out, right? Eventually, and we said, okay, we need to change that, and let's lead by example, and let's reinvent this entire role or department, where community is not the lowest the lowest department in the tier of channels or whatever. Everyone wants devs, everyone wants the head of marketing or whatever, and then in the end it comes up to the community. Hey, does the community hate us or love us? And somehow that's the lowest role. And we're trying to change it. This is why we renamed the role a bit.
Mm-hmm.
um, what I do at the core is the infrastructure that the community needs to thrive. I don't do that infrastructure for the company to thrive. I do it for the community. And if you deliver something to your community that's actually of value to them rather than for the company itself, then your community will actually see it, because they are smart people, and you want smart people to be around you and want to work with you. But if you only take things from them, eventually they will move on and find something else. But if you truly want to build something with them, for them, they thrive. And why would someone want to leave a place where they feel secure, where they feel appreciated, where they feel acknowledged for the knowledge or contributions they make in any way or form? And that's kind of how I explain it to even my parents on what I do. Is community is everything. And I mean by that everything. Every interaction you have is a part of a community. So on your day to day, in a week, you're a part of 150 different communities, starting from your family, from your friends at work, from your soccer team, football team, basketball team, WhatsApp group with your friends from high school, from university, or whatever. All of those are communities. And what people mistake for a community is they want users, they don't want communities. And that's a big difference. So, on the communities aspect, is if you're a part of that community or any other community, ask yourself why you're a part of it. Is there a value for you that you get from it? It's laughing, chilling, enjoying, drinking, or whatever you prefer. Is it the connections? Is it the friends? Is it the love? And everything else? It's not, oh, I need to farm this thing out as much as I can. I need to get and extract as much value as I can from it. But
Mm-hmm.
you actually enjoy being a part of it. And those individuals don't look at you as users. They look at you as someone who has something to contribute to that small WhatsApp group or Telegram chat that you're part of. And now, if you take it and you split it through foundations, right, and then you kind of take it and separate it and take all of these small pieces, then you understand that the foundation of community is actually the vibes and the people within it. And the better people you have, the better the community it is. It doesn't mean that you have to have millions and millions of people within it. It's
Right.
just that you have to have those that will come when you need them, and you will do the same for them eventually into the future if you can. And I think we just saw that right through the comments of people jumping in with
Yeah.
G4G.
How would you, how do you define the right vibes for the community? What do you think makes Solflare stand out in this space? Because Solana in general is very community driven. So every like product building on Solana tries to kind of leverage that community. The channel has already like the ecosystem that is already there. How would you define what Solflare does that makes it different from any other, let's say, brand on Solana or beyond?
Well, honestly, it was a fun experiment when I joined, and this is why I love Solfare so much. Is I told the bosses, it will not make any sense to you the things that I do in the next 6 months, it will be extremely insane, and you won't get the point. But I need to test out things, so don't fire me immediately. Give me some time so I can explain it. And I wanted to connect with people,
Yeah.
and through our community, I wanted to surround ourselves with the core, the foundation of good people that we can trust on and depend on. And to
Mm-hmm.
do that, you require time, right? To meet people, to chat with them, to exchange DMs, and you have to invest a lot of time in that. And that's how I found the group of ambassadors that we had, which all believed in the same goal of, okay, good people, good vibes. Now let's try to spread it out, but not in a way where we need numbers. If we see someone that stands out and that is a good, should be and would be a good part of our community, let's invite them. If
Mm-hmm.
not, all good. Like, you don't have to be. It's not that it's a must, or we hate someone else, or that we don't love anyone else, or that we trash talk on the competitors. No, let's just vibe and let's see what we can do to change this overall mindset of communities being farmed, users being scammed, and let's be the individuals in the space where people can depend on, and
Mm-hmm.
people can trust in, and people will stick with through the ups and downs, as we are here to stay. And this is how we formed this like ambassador group that's now
Mm-hmm.
around 40 members of trusted individuals and people that we truly know through different skill sets. It's not about the followers, it's not about the likes, it's not about the impressions. It's all about who they are and how they contribute to the program itself and the community itself. Not
Mm-hmm.
the company in the way of we make impressions high and we get followers and likes, right? But
Yeah.
how do they contribute to this community? What's their skill? And through that core, um, all of them knew the concept of the community, on whom they can invite, why they should invite someone, why it should be, why it's a good thing, a bad thing, who should be kicked out if they're doing something bad, if they're damaging the reputation of the overall group. And over time, it just spread. People saw that, people understood it, people started joining us. We started playing some games, we started teaching people cool skills. We implemented a lot of workshops, space calls, working groups, feedback groups, everything that's basically made around the community and making their lives easier in the space.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, wherever they go and whatever a community member does, um, they have the foundation of software, and they have the trust within us, and hopefully it will take them somewhere along the path where if they get a chance they can repay it forward to someone else, and this space will become much nicer than currently it kind of is, right?
Yeah, and the Guardian for Guardian thing is this a new sort of initiative that was born because of Solflare Shield, or is it something that you
Oh
kind of
no.
decided to do from the beginning? Because community identity is a thing that helps like build community and unite everyone, right? So Guardian seems like this core identity thing that you guys have. Um, so I'm curious, how was it? How it
Well,
came about?
um, community kind of accepted it. We never, like, the Guardians overall concept became started already like from the last break point before Singapore. So we had the concept around the Guardians, but it fit quite well into the overall new rebrand that we launched afterwards, which was like Hold Strong and Stronghold. So it kind of fit quite nicely into the overall rebrand area. But how we went with the community mantra and everything else was actually asking the community, which is quite strange. If you go up
Surprise.
towards someone and you
Shocking.
tell them, right, it's quite strange. Maybe ask the community what the mantra should be. And I had this saying which I always said, like, this is the way. I love Mandalorian, and I'm like a huge fan and a geek. So I always said, this is the way. If things are like doing well, oh, why are you so kind, or why do you spread the vibes this well? This is the way. There is no other explanation. It's either do it right or don't do it at all. Otherwise, you have a hidden agenda behind it, or you're doing something wrong. And somehow community adapted that. This is the way. So they started helping out others, and then kind of they also helped it and said, this is the way on kind of how things should be in the space. If you want to see a change, be the change you want to see. Um, and somehow we kind of then started doing that. Okay, if a guardian helps another guardian, we'll reward that. And kind of how can we reward that reward? How could we name it? Like guardian for guardian. Okay, so if you do something to help another guardian, we'll actually pay you or send you an NFT or send you some USDC. Or if you do something for the community overall that kind of goes above and beyond the Call of Duty, we'll reward that. We'll see that. We have implemented tracker for that. There is where people can submit other things that others are doing cool. And you cannot enlist yourself, but you can enlist other guardians. And this is kind of how we started the G4G reward, which became Guardian for Guardian. And now the mantra is overall every guardian helps other guardians. But in a way, it's not only for the guardians ecosystem, it's for the entire Solana ecosystem and or any other ecosystem out there that is willing to accept a support and an offering hand that can help.
I love that it kind of the whole thing evolved together with the community and really like took on the participation from the members and ambassadors, because I always say that you can't like put together a pretty strategy of like 40 pages and just like implement it and go. Like you have to have a framework, but then a lot of the things, especially community wise, like they come and go as you speak to people, right? That are active within it.
You have to adapt.
It's a
to
fucking
these
grind.
things. Oh yeah.
Mm.
There's everyone's got a strategy, right? There's so many strategy docs, but as you're saying, it's like you got to be in the trenches, you got to be talking to people, you got to be responding to all these messages, and it's such a messy art. But some people are really good at it, and clearly this fellow here, he's been crushing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
This
You
is
have
not
to
my
passion
first
it.
community. I have a template on go to market with community in 3 weeks because I've done that, right? But I always knew it was wrong. And anyone that has done that knows how it ends up. And that's the job that you get when you need to build a community for a project. But the truth is you don't want a community. You want the users, you want the buyers, and you want the revenue in your company. You don't truly want the community aspect. So luckily, this is why I'm extremely happy where I am right now, is that a company actually believed in the same things that I did. And they actually they trusted me into building something cool, even though they didn't understand it maybe in the beginning exactly how I imagined it. Because as you said, Polina, is there is no strategy. You need to start testing it out, and then it breaks, and then you start again, and then it breaks, and again and again and again, until you see the results that you wanted to see. But for that, it takes time.
It's like my favorite meme with like fuck around, find out thing. I'm gonna like overlay here.
Can we wait really real quick? I do want to talk about Breakpoint, right? Paulette, I don't know if you're about to go there, but would love to. I think we already kind of touched on Solflare, Shield, but I guess more my question is like as we talk about Solflare Shield and it being an incredible hardware wallet, right? Which is the size of a, it's literally like a credit card or debit card. I think Maky, you were telling me it's got a new type of NFC chip that
Yep.
is very different. But would love to better understand like what role the community played in that, if they did, or if you were testing with them, you're shipping it to them, or just curious about that. And then also if there's any other things we feel like we didn't mention about the about Shield, let us know. But yeah.
Okay, so how it came up to the Shield overall is that
Yeah.
internally we started having these secret projects that we are building within the company. So you have the day-to-days, right? And then you have that idea that needs to be pushed out. And we started calling them secret projects. And actually, with our founder, Vidor, we were kind of competing a bit and had this internal joke. Hey, what's the next secret project? What's the next secret project? Let's build something cool. Let's build something cool. And since Vidor is as well kind of quite let's do it, fire on, he found out that this new technology that we are using with the NFC chip on the hardware wallet, and the technology that we also worked on and we understood it quite well with the Seeker um, Seeker wallet as well, the Vault. We understood how hardware wallets worked, and the technology when it came out was something quite new. And we were quite frustrated with a lot of the choices of the other hardware wallets that you had, and the battery, and that, and then signing and blind signing. Then it works with the wallet, then it doesn't work because you changed something, and so on and so on. Um, and somehow he came up to an idea. We're gonna build this because we understand it. There is this new technology that we want to test out, and they tested it out and started playing around with it for the past year. And this is how Shield came to life. When it comes to the overall on why it came in, neither the community knew. So this is the goal of the secret projects, is actually to surprise the community as well. So nobody knew. It was extremely internal within the company itself. We same thing with the magic as well. Certain things we do allow our community to test out beforehand, as there are more secret projects being printed out. Um, but the seeker, but the shield itself was something that we wanted to do for Breakpoint, and we wanted to kind of spread out the vibe. Since last year, we were giving away different hardware wallet, right? This year, we wanted to do something again quite cool and amazing, and Shield was the perfect play that we could do. And if we announced it or shared it anywhere else beforehand, people would kind of assume that we would already give them out. So we wanted to keep it as private as we can.
I love that. And there's so much with I think you were talking about earlier with Solflare. Like you guys do so many things as like an ecosystem. Like where I guess really like when you look at this all of these things, right? From the wallet to the card to, you know, the AI that's now coming out, like how do you envision this all coming together? Like is it all in an all encompassing ecosystem that wraps around the wallet? So it's like wallet's the center and everything builds around that. Like how do you guys envision that? Yeah.
Well, the, we have different verticals. I would call it like that. So
Yeah.
each team
Mm.
pursues the idea that they have that is valuable and tested within the company, as kind of potentially bringing on new users or retaining the ones that we already have. Um, but your wallet, your self custody wallet, is your gateway to Web3, right? If you're using a centralized exchange wallet or any other type of wallet that's using any type of like email signing in and all of that is fine. That's not self custody. You're again going against the core of the chain itself, and not your keys, not your wallet, not your money, right? Whatever. So self custody wallets are the foundation, I would say, of crypto overall. It's the core of the blockchain technology, owning your own things. And the thing that you need to have to enter the space and to enjoy it is a wallet, because you cannot interact with other things. You cannot interact with other dApps and stuff like that without a wallet that you trust, right? Because it holds everything that you have in that space. And that wallet should have as many functionalities as it can to protect you and to kind of limit the frustration that you might have with everything else in the space. And this is why I consider the wallets the gateway towards crypto and Web3 world. And now, kind of exploring different verticals on what a wallet can be. Does a
Mm.
wallet actually need to only hold your like assets and manage your portfolio in that way, or could it provide other different things that are valuable for you as a user in a Web3 space? Doesn't have to be only the swapping of coins or staking or things like that. And this is why we are kind of
Mysterious.
quite flexible in this approach, right? Because who is there to define the technology and what Web3 can be, since it's such a new industry that it can be whatever people want it to be, right? And the users will then in the end decide if it was a cool feature or not, and it's a risk that we are kind of taking, right? But for now, we are on
Yeah.
a good track. But let's call it like next year. Next year,
Yeah.
there is more secret projects coming. There is one of from community team as well. And once that goes live and everything else, then I want you to ask me this question again, and hopefully I'll have a much better
You'll have to
answer.
come on next year.
For sure, not an issue
You
at
heard
all.
it here first.
I'm also curious, because you mentioned that wallet is your gateway into crypto. And to me, that automatically means, bringing in new users into crypto, not familiar with crypto, making it, super easy to interact with dApps and whatnot. Um, from community perspective, where does your community live on Discord, right?
Yes, at the moment,
Okay.
yes. We were at
So
Telegram, now we are at Discord.
yeah, and you would imagine like Discord is not a very loved platform by a lot of people in Web 2, not very much used platform if you're not a gamer and things like that. So as Solflare evolves, as crypto evolves, as it becomes more like invisible, we onboard the masses, all that stuff. How do you see the community space evolve? Like obviously you can just like force everyone to use Discord because it's just not for them.
Oh, okay. That's a tricky question to answer now since it goes with
The
a few
secret
things.
project.
Yeah, with a few things. Um, but I mean, not we're not competing with Discord, just so we're clear on that. Nothing of a sort. But I get the gist of the question itself. Um, yes, Discord sucks. It sucks for community management. It's more a tool for gaming, and it's not made for large scale communities in the way of management and community building. It's more for like different activations type of things. And if they actually knew how to build communities, they would not be doing the things that they are currently doing. Same thing with Telegram overall. Like, I love Telegram, don't get me wrong, but it lacks so many functionalities on the basic things on what it could do for the user and for community management. It was quite close to taking over Discord, then they flopped because they didn't invest any more time in it. Um, but yeah, that's actually the point I'm trying to make, right? Overall in the community is to the changes are needed, right? This Web3 community is something that everyone wants to replicate now, even in the Web2 world, and everyone wants the true believers in the company, not in the product itself, but the people that are building something, and they want to be there with those people, and they want to build that and want to participate in any way to make that company great. And that's the true community that you want. And such tools have not been invented yet because nobody understands it. It's such a new concept. In this core, with this kind of term where community actually supports a company, we saw that in regular world. I would say in like football clubs, like you have the die-hard fans of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Arsenal, or whatever, and that's the community that you want to transition in a business world. But football and sports is a completely different thing than business. Hey, I'm selling you a self-custody wallet, so you have to find a different approach to it. And this is actually the thing that my role does, is finding that approach and spotting that need from the people, and implementing it into the entire system. But now, kind of answering that question in full mode is for next year.
Okay, are there any, maybe fintech, not sports related communities that you take inspiration from? What are fintech brands that you think did well? Because I can name like a few tech brands, but not like fintech specifically, I don't think.
Well, honestly, none in that are not in the Web3 world. Um, all of them suck because it's all money grab. And then when you wanna, like, when they ask you what's the ROI on that, then you truly see that they don't understand it. And they have so much
Tell it
power
like
that
it
they can.
is.
No, it is. I'm straight shooter,
No, it's
man. I'm
true. I
not
love
gonna
it.
I'm not gonna lie on
No,
that. They
it's great.
suck because if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't be having the issues that they have with their communities right now. The
Yeah.
good example of that is an iPhone, the Apple itself. I mean, of course, not even gonna touch on $1 trillion company, multi-billion revenue, 15 other different streams of revenue. That's a different story. That's the community overall. Now are people who were complaining about their iPhones getting like destroyed or the paint going off and things like that, right? So that's the community that they are not addressing. They completely ignore that issue and kind of are not addressing it in any way or form as it does as it doesn't exist. If they had a community behind them, the community would start addressing the issue itself. And that's the point of why you need a community behind you. And I wouldn't say
Hmm.
that any other
That's
company. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, no, no. Sorry, I was just saying that's actually a really interesting point because I guess that is I don't know. When you were talking about that at first, I was like, well, the issue is like Apple's too big, right? Like, because the people who have iPhones are millions, if not billions, of people around the world. But that is in an ideal world, like you would allow the community to like self-organize, right? And actually, they used to have that, I guess, when you think about Apple, like Apple fanboys, and
Yep.
so maybe it's a scale thing. I don't know. It's hard to scale community to that size,
Because
perhaps.
nobody is
But I
working
hear
on
what you're
that.
saying.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
just
that's true.
don't in like
They just
of
don't care.
yeah, they just don't care. Like for
Yeah.
example, out of tech brands, nothing comes to mind,
Hmm.
like the nothing phones, and like
Yeah.
they did actually a community race recently, and like this is the product I think that was community led from the get-go. They have like a community
No.
board where they join board meetings. They can, even submit like briefs for design of products and features. This is like super, like out of tech products, this is the only one that comes to mind to me when I think about like community driven. And I think that inspiration wise, because it's like tech related, we can take a lot from their playbook of going like beyond Discord and Telegram.
No, this is true. Like, it's the issue is in the beginning you need the community to push out your product. Then when you start getting users, you don't need the community anymore, so you neglect it.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue is as well, as you said, the scaling of that community. To a certain level, you can have amazing community, and then at a point, there is this community is so small compared to the user base that you have that it's kind of not needed anymore. But if you wish to scale it, then it becomes extremely expensive because you don't know how to do it. And this is because nobody's actually working on any type of community features, tooling, research, or whatsoever. They always focus on the product themselves, not the community and how to scale it in a proper way.
Yeah, and
So
I
let's
think
talk about that.
yeah,
Oh, sorry, Polina. Go
go
ahead.
for it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
Yeah, yeah.
we're
Well, because I
thinking the
think
same thing.
yes, because that's a question, and all credits to Polina. She wrote this question, right? But I think on that point of scaling community, right? I think you mentioned in a tweet that right now the scale of the current community program is at only 10%, right? So as an architect, you're clearly thinking about how do you scale these things? How do you get, over time, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions? How do you scale community, and how are you thinking about it without giving away too much of the secret projects in
Oh,
alpha, but
it's
give
now
alpha?
the give alpha,
Yeah.
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 It's actually quite simple in terms of there is no new tech in that way. Um, First off, community cannot be based around a single individual or a company itself. That's the make it or break it type of decision. If you build a community only around a single individual, in this case, like myself, it will eventually fail. That's the hard truth, and it cannot be made around me or anyone else as a single point of failure. That's one thing. Second thing, as well, the company itself. If you build a community around a company, how does the community know that that company will live forever if the community wants to live forever? And this is what happened with the NFTs, right? You had the community, you had the vibes, and you had the people that were extremely supportive of a project. Then someone rugged, that community wanted to stay, but they didn't have the access to the tooling, to the NFTs, to the code or whatever to make that happen and to make that project go back and kind of get back on track because they were locked out. So there was a single point of failure with the guy who had the keys and the NFT collection or whatever that rugged it and went away, and good people that wanted to hang out slowly died out, even though they were a great community. So that's the first thing that comes to what kind of what makes it fail. And once you remove that, once you remove yourself from that egoistic mindset, which everyone has, I do as well. So once you remove the ego from the equation, and you actually understand the word community, which is people that share the same interest into something, and you allow them to nurture that interest and work as a community, then there is no need in scale. Then there is no need in making things better, involving ideas or whatever, because they will make them happen as long as they have some resources, some support, some acknowledgement in what they're doing, and someone actually seeing them. It took me 6 years to get spotted in this industry, for someone to notice me, and that sucks. It kind of, not maybe six in a way, like, but four were hard grinding of things within, and everyone knows that, and it shouldn't have been like that. It's just the system was made so, because it's a replica of Web 2 world. And what I always wanted is, let me do something and please acknowledge that effort. And that's what I found through community, and that's what we are trying to build with our community as well. Man, I think people vibe with it, and we're on a good track. And this is why we're only at 10%. It's not, people think that this is huge. It is huge compared to everything else out there. It's not even close to what it needs to be when it comes to what we have in our heads and why we do certain things. And I kind of like when people come in and say, oh, but you're doing this wrong and this wrong and this wrong, which is totally fine. Like, yes, 100% tell me what we are doing wrong. I completely agree with these things. It's not that I'm unaware of them, but do you know why we're doing them wrong? That's the issue. That's the question. And then, oh no, I just thought you could change this into this and it would be better. Yes, but if you knew the entire concept, then you would say, okay, let's just leave it be until the next thing comes out. So, but this is now again a feedback from the community on how things are done, and if you truly listen to them, um, good things will happen, and they will attract other people, and that way you'll have a foundation that will stick with you wherever you go and whatever you do.
That makes a lot of sense. And I like that you said that when you joined the team, you were like, give me 6 months, just don't fire me, let me try a bunch of things. So, I mean, 6 months is a lot for a lot of founders also. So I found that, working with communities in the past, you always have to like prove yourself, obviously. And my favorite question is like, what's the ROI and when are we gonna start seeing it and things like that. So 6 months like sounds like a lot of time, right? How did you manage to prove the ROI of your experiments? And maybe there was one experiment that did particularly well that you can pinpoint where you were like, yes, we're on the right track.
I mean, it's quite an easy ROI to showcase our ambassadors group alone without any of the community members out there. So 40 people generate 20x uh, of views compared to the Solflare main Twitter account in impressions. What
Love
else
that.
do you need as a company, right? It's 20x on everything you put into Twitter compared to 40 people that are tweeting and joking around. They generate 20 times more impressions than anything else.
And
On
not
40 people.
KOLs, people who
They are not
actually love the
KOLs.
product.
They are not KOLs. They are ambassadors. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
How
If
do
you
you
want a KOL,
incentivize?
Oh, that's a different thing. It depends on each individual, right? And that's the core of the community. It's our ambassador program is completely different than anything out there. Like me coming to you and saying,
Tell us
"Here's
about it.
5K," right? I will,
Yeah.
not an issue at all.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
there are no longer secrets in that way, but coming to you and telling you, "Hey, here's 5K. You need to do this, and that." It's a B2B transaction, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll do until I pay, right? Or you won't once I stop. But if you open it up towards the opportunities to grow and see and test out people, then people will come with ideas on what they need help with. And if you truly believe in those individuals, then you invest your time and your resources that they might not be able to get into their ideas, and that's the value that you give them. It doesn't always go one way where, okay, we pay you, you promote us. That's the KOL and the influencer side of things, which at the moment we can see everywhere, and it's quite clear when something's promoted, when something's not as right. So our incentives are not made around, of course there are payments, so to be clear, but not even close to what others think. And the terms for all of the ambassadors are the same. No matter how big, small, or whatever you are, everyone gets the same terms. It's either, do you like this and do you want to be a part of this group, or you don't, which is again fine. There are other people that will more like make you as an ambassador on their own end, completely fine. Like, do it. But why do you want to be a part of our group then and start demanding things? Oh, I need this and this and this, and I want this and that. No, you're not bigger than the group itself. So either invest in the group and the group invest in you, or maybe find a different program. And somehow that concept actually worked. Um, and this is why our ambassadors are kind of so always supportive. And when you see them on events, they're always with us, hanging around with us and filling Solflare and everything else, because we go above and beyond on certain things. We remember things, we acknowledge them, we support them, we help them out where we can, um, and everything else, which is kind of more on personal level, not to kind of go into the depth of that. But this is how we want to approach these things. It doesn't matter on kind of on what you can provide from the reach point, which everyone looks at. It's where you can provide as a person to the company itself, as a true ambassador of this company. And that's the value. Some people don't tweet at all. They still have badges, and others ask, oh, but he doesn't tweet. Where are his impressions? I do more than him or her or whatever. And I'm like, do you know that person? No. Do you know what they do? No. Uh, that guy is actually one of the biggest regional bankers in the Caribbean, for example, or that guy is the best dev out there that you have ever seen, that just wants to chill with us and vibe with us. And anytime we need something, they help us out. Or at every event, that person knows every single person in the event, but they don't have followers or reach. Is that a bad person to be your ambassador? Because they have 1,000 followers
No,
on
not at
X?
all.
But that's how
It doesn't
people see
matter,
it. That's
and I
the
love that.
ROI they
Yeah.
don't see. That's the ROI that you
Yeah.
have to justify to the company or the CEO or whoever,
Yeah.
because you cannot prove that an individual with 1,000 followers can do 10 times more than someone who has 100,000 followers
Yeah.
and it's only rugging and scamming, because that guy
Yeah.
is on events 24/7. They go on 50 events a year, always in Solflare merch and shilling Solflare and chatting with people from Solflare, and people know that they are an ambassador from Solflare. They can approach them, ask them questions, connect them to us. That's an ambassador. Now, can you put value to that? Theoretically, yes, if you can track it, but nobody has ever done anything of a sort to track these things, so you can never measure it, right? So it has to be a gut feeling. And luckily, the gut from the founders is good still, so I'm still here. So kind of the ROI
Bullish.
probably is good, right?
Made it.
Let's go. Bullish. I hate to do this, but we do have to start wrapping up because I unfortunately have a hard stop
Of course.
in 5, which sucks because I really want to keep chatting. Actually, this is great. And Maki, you're always so fun to chat with, and you're a sharp fellow, and it's really incredible to. I think even just the way you run the community makes it. It personally resonates because I think it's a similar thing with Myosin. Like we're a community of top tier marketers. You know, we are always hand curating like about 100 right now in our community, and it's a similar thing of like some people like they don't show up as much. You know, other people like write a lot of content, they work on a lot of projects, but there are a couple people where I'm like, you know, other people ask me like, why are they here? Like, what are they doing? I'm like, well, have you talked? Same thing. I'm like, if you talk to that person, like that person is like an insane BD, and like they're throwing us a lot of deals, or they like do all these things that it's those intangibles that you're
Yeah.
talking about. So that like resonated so hard. Just when I heard that, I was like, that's the hard part about community, right? It's like vibes is quantifiable in certain regards of like impressions or referrals or I don't know, like value captured in some way, but it's all those like human connections and referrals and stuff that it's
Architecture,
just really
the
difficult.
network.
Yeah,
Yeah, it will make a
exactly.
lot of sense next year on everything you just said.
Ooh,
Yeah, it.
I'm
I
excited.
think you will quite like what the secret project is from the community aspect.
As you said, yeah, I think I can sense what's cooking and I'm very excited. And we should trade notes. I think we may be doing something soon. But um okay, but we do have to run to rapid fire questions. But I guess well, we'll do that at the end. I was gonna say like, what's the thing that people should look out for? But going to rapid fire questions, Polina, you want to kick it off, and we'll go back and forth as usual.
Yeah. What is the most underrated marketing tactic or, I mean, community tactic, I would say, in Web3 right now?
In Web3, helping people out is the most underrated tactic
Be
out there.
human.
Yeah, be human. Like listen to people, help them out, and if you want to help them out, they will help you for sure. Maybe not immediately, but they will.
Karma.
I love it. Uh, Most overrated marketing tactic.
Socialfy by far.
Ooh,
Karming
yeah,
points, airdrops, yappers, and things like that just annoy me, and I hate them
yeah,
because they bring no value. They're just kind of the
Short
noise
term.
metric. Yeah, noise metric.
yeah.
I liked much more the ICO IPO meta when it was previously like, or the NFT minting meta, but this social fight thing is just kind of not really not really what I want to see in the community aspect.
You're speaking as a true like long-term community builder, and like short-term, social fight as well. But yeah, for community long-term, it's
For
just
community, it's a
creates too
terrible
much
thing. Yeah.
noise. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so what crypto brands or projects are crushing it right now that are not Solflare, obviously?
No, yeah, of course. So overall, like Klanos, like shout out to Klanos, Pudgy Penguins,
Mm-hmm.
SMBs as always. SMBs will always be in my heart, right? Yeah, exactly. They
SMB
are
gang.
doing amazing jobs, both from the community aspect, but also implementing things into the regular world, into Web 2, and being the bridge between these things. So those three are really the things that I watch over and kind of get inspired by.
Love it.
They're the three legit ones that are still standing and scaling, and the communities of stuff. You know, they have. It's incredible, and it's so interesting because they all have kind of unique stories, right? Like Luca's kind of a figurehead, but he's done a really good job with like different pudgy chapters. Like Klenos is more like creatively led, and they're doing the toys and the media. And then like Monkey DAO, like Nam helped shepherd that along, but now it's Jemmy and that crew. Like it's so fast. It's like what a crazy world we live in, you know.
True.
I love this. Um, okay, last one. And this is my favorite. We've been doing this podcast in various forms for about 3 years now, and we've asked every guest this question, which is looking back at the past year or so, what's your biggest professional learning as a community architect or whatnot? Yeah.
Who? Okay, that's off guard. On the biggest professional learning. Um, that from my point, that things that might seem
Hmm.
simple to me and in my head makes sense, to others they
Mm,
might be a complete flop, meaning that the
yeah.
idea that you have at the moment might not just be defined right. The concept is there, but
Hmm.
the way you showcase it and present it is not the thing that will
Hmm.
capture the attention. So if you truly believe in the idea that you have, and your ability to push on that idea and make it a reality, maybe people just don't understand the way you present it. So try to find a different way and
Mm.
a different pitch, and I'm sure you'll get to the end goal. And that's how my journey as well is going.
I love that. That's a great one. I think like early next year I'm going to do like a whole recap of the learning. So I think that would be a great one to add.
Cool. Happy
Oh
Um,
happy
yeah.
to do so.
okay, so wrapping it up, Monkey.
Cool.
Tell the folks what's the alpha, what can they expect, what they should be looking out for, what should the community be high level expecting in the next year. I guess 2026 is coming up. Um, any calls to action? How can they find you? I think that's self evident, but you can plug anyways. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this year is kind of wrapping out, so things will get a bit slower before they get faster, right? Beginning of next year, Q1 will be quite interesting for everyone following up with Solflare. It will also become really interesting for everyone that's attached towards Solflare community and tries to become a member if any way or form. So next year, 2026 is the go-to year for us, I would say, as a community department. Everything that we have been building, and this 10% will start growing massively on that end, but it will also be followed up with some pretty crazy software features as well. So I think 2026 is actually the year where we will we will show what we know.
Ooh, I'm
Nice.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Secret
Yeah, as I
projects.
was telling you, secret projects.
Printing them out. That's
As
the funniest thing in this company.
it's coming. I love that. And that, like I was saying, I think you may have convinced me actually to do the hard work of moving all my wallets over from Phantom and onboarding onto Solflare finally. So I'm pumped.
But
Yeah,
I mean, look, we cannot help you if we don't know the product that you're using, right? But in this case, if you
exactly.
ever have an issue, you always know to whom to reach out to.
I got a guy. And you make a compelling offer that I don't think I can refuse.
I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, well, so with that, I think that's it for today. But dude, really appreciate having you on. You're an amazing soul. You clearly just love building the community, and the community loves you. So, G for G, and we'll see you online, and I'll see you soon. Yeah,
Cool. Thank
thanks so
you. Thank you
much.
for having me,
See you
and
online.
then see you on the next one. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
See you on the next one.